Welcome, race fans and diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank the Guru Gibbs.
We're test driving out the new virtual studio tonight. Hopefully you're going to enjoy the new setup and the new format. Let's have a look at what we're going to be covering tonight. First up, we've got a drifting review, then drag racing, quick look at some street racing, tournament reviews, rallying update. We jump over to Frank's custom corner and Frank's garage, look at reviews and grassroots racing, and then finally stunt of the week.
Yeah, and that stunt of the week is absolutely ridiculous. You're definitely going to want to stick around and see that one.
That's what I think, Guru, but for now, let's rip into it. Starting with the drifting review. This is going to be short because there is no drifting to review.
There's not a lot out there. There's TYO Toys, who's got some drifting stuff, but there hasn't been much there for a while.
So we're going to move straight on to drag racing. There's a little bit going on in the drag racing world at the moment. We'll start with Diecast Draggor. We introduced you to this track last week. They're moving into round 2, race 2, and there's been some exciting action. I mean, this is a unusual drag track in that it's a fat track setup, and you can see there the cars just don't seem to understand you're meant to go in a straight line.
Yeah, I don't think these drivers are really listening at these briefings. It's a bit crazy, but it makes for some interesting action to watch.
Then we jump over to Simon and Hot Car Track for Thursday night hot rods. Normally we'd only be able to feature Monday night hot rods, but this week, because we're a little bit later, we thought we'd sling in a Thursday night for you. Now the Chevy Impala taking on the Purginator, and this was a great battle through here. You see the Impala well out in front and then spins. Purginator smashes into the side of him and actually flips him over. Some awesome racing over there. Highly suggest you go and check it out.
I do enjoy that sort of racing. Again, another fat track drag race. It's awesome.
Now another newcomer this week, King of the Strip for Track Attack. This is an awesome little setup. So this is a great setup with 8 lanes wide, straight up drag race. It's fast and furious action. If you're into drag racing, I highly suggest you go and check these guys out. Just search for Track Attack HW on YouTube.
Yeah, it's one of the cleanest drag strips we've seen. Nice setup, fast races, and some great camera work.
Different type of drag race over at Trax Racing. A shout out to Commissioner Jason and Chris over at Trax for putting on this new tournament. So this is a big setup for them. They've got 6 teams racing, and of course we sent young Stevenson over this time.
And as you know, I was a bit nervous about sending a young guy over into such a big tournament, but he really impressed me. He absolutely mopped the floor with the competition and left everyone in no doubt that he's not to be messed with.
And setting a track record there of 2.8. So Stevenson all over the competition in the Lancer Evolution. Going into the competition, he wasn't even a favourite. He didn't even feature. You can see him there getting some air. Luckily he's used to the Canyon getting a lot more air than that, so he's able to handle it.
That Evolution stunned everybody, and it was great to see, especially for the Canyon.
And thanks again to Commissioner Jason for setting that up. Moving over to street racing. And of course, King of the Mountain. It was a busy week for Kit KM this week, racing at the Canyon and over at 3D Botmaker's street racing track. Nice to see the Escort out there bashing his way around the track. And then Battle Cat versus Disco Inferno. These two beasts are huge and really quite surprising they even made it down the track with that extra height. Thought they would have rolled over in some of those corners. I highly suggest if you enjoy that sort of racing, jump over to 3D Botmaker, check it out. Moving into a tournament review. Again, there's a lot going on at the moment, which is amazing to see. We'll start off with our friends over at RTR Diecast Racing League and Maze Mountain Motor Speedway. Man, it's such a mouthful. Okay, the Mustang Mania tournament.
Yeah, this is a great tournament, and there's some really tight racing on this track.
And First up, there was Milky Jack from Jackson Pass Speedway and Dredger 5663.
Again, another good fat track race, and that was just so close.
Yeah, Dredger thought he had it, and Milky Jack just sneaks through right at the end. And of course, my own race.
You did well, mate, I've got to say. Even though Po Boy left you behind there, what did he do there?
I don't know, mate. For some reason, he thought he was going to show off and back over the finish line, but he just got it wrong. Gets that wheel up on the side of the track and flips out and smashes into the winner of the first race. And it just let me slip past.
There's a great bit of driving. I'm surprised you managed to keep it cool.
Well, years of practice. Moving over to 3D Botmaker, and this was the week of the finals in the Classic Stock Car Tournament. And this has been an epic series. If you haven't seen it yet, highly suggest you jump over, have a look at it from the beginning. There's some great racing.
And of course, those beautiful cars put together by Nero62.
And this move from Crazy James, that overtake was incredible.
Yeah, he just waits till the last second on that and just slips past him beautifully.
It was perfectly timed, no touching going past, and just stunning bit of driving. And of course, our own Chevy Showdown this week.
There's a lot of action going on at the Canyon this week. Po Boy Racing and Joe Marquez and Mike Mays starting off the week putting on a great show in the Monte Carlos. And as we've seen before, these things get a bit wild. Po Boy there taking the first lap, but Mike Mays, that was the craziest one.
Yeah, so far he's the only person to park on the jump. I mean, I don't even know how he managed to stay there without falling through. Po Boy just putting on a heck of a show with that jump as well.
This was a massive jump, and he just kept it so beautifully straight. Po Boy showing off there with some spinning manoeuvres. It was just ridiculous.
And the El Camino's putting on a show. Kit Kayam brake checking poor Nocky Jack there, and then Chris Kahuno trying to get around the wide Buttercup El Camino, just wasn't able to pull it off. And then a few other spills and thrills there with all the cars getting tied up in Kahuna corner and just knocking Kit Kayam loose.
Speaking of loose, mate, what is with Rex and his high-speed towing hookups? He's just mental.
Well, the boys have been under pressure. There's so many accidents, those tow trucks are in constant use. But luckily Rex has managed to organise a few extras coming up. Moving to a rallying update and the DRC news. Big news, 3D Botmaker's DRC is going to be back in June. That's huge. That was something that has got a lot of people into the sport of diecast racing, us included, and it's great to see. It's a fun competition, lots of action.
Absolutely. There is so much going on there, and it's been some great drivers that have really got quite a following. Highly suggest you watch that, and if you haven't seen the series before, have a look at it. There's 2 previous rounds, well worth a watch.
Then we've got DRC Racing. We've featured these guys a few times from Sri Lanka, so not related to 3D Botmaker's channel at all, but it's a great little track. Lots of frantic action on this track, and they're moving into their quarterfinals this week. And you see here, just like pinballing off the walls there, and then boom, comes through, slams into him, and still manages to finish.
That Mercedes just wasn't going to let anything stop him, but then there, he blows it himself. He goes into the wall.
And these two battled out quite viciously for the rest of the race there.
It certainly keeps it exciting. And then into the first of the quarterfinals with Drifter and the Stocker. And these guys were definitely giving it the beans.
Moving over to vehicle reviews. The last couple of weeks, Beaverworks have done reviews on the Ford Ranger Raptor, the Matchbox, and then the Hot Wheels version, and sent them down the stoned road. This time they're sending the 1967 Jeepster Commando down. What I really like about this is they do a full review of the vehicle. They talk about the dimensions of it, the weights, the tip angle, all that sort of stuff, but then they actually put it to the test as well and send it down the stoned road.
Yeah, this road is brutal. It's incredible watching these things bounce down. You can see this one here, they don't always get it right, and boom, over he goes. But it makes it really exciting to watch.
And I've got to say, the production of these reviews is really high quality, well worth a watch, and very entertaining. Into grassroots racing, this is where we highlight some of the newer or smaller tracks that are out there. This one comes to you from Diecast Racing in Portugal. What I love about this is he's chosen his own aesthetic, different to everybody else, and he's doing it.
Yeah, and there is some tight little racing on this track with lots of accidents. I mean, that first corner causing absolute carnage.
Yeah, certainly entertaining to watch. Go and check them out, Diecast Racing Portugal.
Alright, moving over to my section. Now, we've been busy in the shop this week. We've got lots of cars in there, a couple of Chargers, and of course that beautiful old Thunderbird that needs working. But it's not just about me. First up, I'd like to say thanks very much for Mike Mays for this beautiful shot of your Mustang Spanners.
Yeah, she was a stunner.
Then we've got Jay Penrith with these awesome street scenes. And then Jorge Tricanis, hope I'm saying that right, mate, but just some beautiful examples of vehicles here. He's got a couple of customs as well. I love these drifting shots. It's nothing like a bit of good action. And this awesome 4x4, I mean, what a beast. And I hadn't actually seen any bikes before, so it's really nice to see a couple of those in there. And this garage setup that he's got is just beautiful. And that Camaro, it's a nice looking vehicle, very sparkly. And I just love this custom hot rod that he's built.
Man, that engine is massive. How do you even shoehorn that in?
Well, mate, where there's a will, there's a way. Then, from your land, mate, Josh Carolla from Kiwi Customizers. This thing is a beauty. Not only is that paint epic, but look at the customization he's done with the suspension. And then finally, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name, but we'll put it up on the screen. But he's built this amazing track, which is part diorama, part lounge, and it's awesome. Absolutely love it. Go and check it out over on redlinederby.com.
And finally, Stunt of the Week. And you know who this has to go to?
I'm pretty sure I do. Po Boy Racing.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just mental. He comes down here, does a full 360 on his side, keeps going around, decides to roll completely over the car while doing another 180 to come down and win the race. I mean, just how did he even do that?
I have no idea, mate. It was just a mind blower at the time, and definitely deserving of Stunt of the Week. That's one of the best stunts I've seen yet, and especially at the Canyon.
Alright, that's it for this week's weekly wrap up. Hope you've enjoyed the new format. Let us know in the comments what you think of it, and let us know if there's anything you'd like to see next time. We'd like to thank Redline Derby Racing. They are a fantastic resource if you're new to the hobby, or whether you're experienced but looking for answers, or you've got something really cool to share. Jump over to redlinederby.com and get amongst it. It's a fantastic place to go.
Absolutely agree, mate. There's a lot of good stuff there, from modifying cars to building tracks to pretty much answering any question you've got about diecast.
Alright, that's enough for tonight. I'm Tom Spanners Watson, he's Frank the Guru Gibbs, and we'll see you next time. So, Guru, how did that pole dancing class go?
Oh, it was pretty good, mate, but man, I got some hella bruises from it.